Yeah. Uh, can we off your mic so that it will stop echoing. Perfect, perfect. So today, as we were scheduling or talking about today's session, so today it's a very different kind of session in terms of psychology and in our human behavior. You know what happens in general life sometimes that lots of events happen in our life, and there will be and there are some points where we wanted to speak up but we couldn't. Okay, because of our situation, because of our out of respect, because of injustice. So what happens that if we wanted, there is always a feeling, there is always an instinct coming that yes, we have to take a stand, we have to speak up, we have to counter, but we couldn't. And when we cannot counter, when we cannot release, I would prefer this word, when we couldn't release, it is right there in our system, it is suppressed. Okay, so today's acting technique is not just about acting technique, it's about a meditative release. It's a psychological healing that what happens that whenever we wanted to speak but we couldn't, and because of we were not able to speak up, because of we couldn't say that, it is right there in our system. And it it shows that suppression shows itself sometime on face, sometime our system, sometime in our breathing, sometime in our choices we make. It becomes that suppression becomes fear, that suppression becomes anxiety, and it hampers actors or those who are preparing for acting or these things. So in that situation, what happens, there were two systems. One is to go back. It's like a it's a different kind of vocabulary I have to use today. It's a karmic regression. You have to go back, you have to psychologically go back to your past, and you have to erase those things and then have to come. It is an imaginative process, but you have to go back and erase. So in the same way, what happens, the karmic regression happens. So in the same way, whenever there is something suppressed in you, whenever you feel that okay, that was the time, you had to speak, you wanted to speak but you couldn't. So in that process, in that exercise, we try to go back, and we call it emotional memory. Okay, okay. For beginners, what happens that we go back to the happiest moment first. We go to the the first birthday, the first day of college, the first date, these things, that simple memory based happy things. But when we get pro in that, when we actually make our system in a way that okay, we can go to that situation easily, and we sustain there, and we see things as detailed, as structured as we are there in that time. Okay, it's a kind of meditation that we go and we observe, we see those things in a way that we see. For example, if we are talking about date, first date, okay, we see the color of the table, we see the texture of the table, we see the quantity of the coffee, and we also see the the background, the image of the coffee cup. We also see the color of the earring. We go to the extent that we actually observe what we have seen. We try, we cannot observe 100%, or we cannot be as realistic as we were that time. Maybe we were so much engrossed in that date that we couldn't realize. It's like a EMC square kind of thing, that we realize the time. We are so much into that situation that we are not able to observe the color of the dress of or the nail polish, whatever it is. Fine. So did I make the background what I'm going to try to taste say, because it's very difficult. That's why I chose that kind of background to make it. Okay, fine. So in order to understand that mechanism, in order to understand that healing, we call it self healing. We do exercise, acting exercise, we call it going back. It's a very simple exercise, going back. Okay, what we do in that exercise, we go back. We go to the happiest moment we spent, like a date, birthday party, or the convocation of the college, or the farewell of the college, or the first day of the university, whatever. And we go in a way that we actually start seeing those face what we saw there, what the lines they were speaking, those face were speaking, must be speaking some line, even if it is a cliche line, but they were speaking some of the other thing. So we go to the extent that we actually listen to them, we touch things, we think about that first patties or the aloo patties of the of the canteen. We go to the fragrance, like what kind of fragrance that canteen were releasing. It's a chai fragrance or a coffee fragrance or filter coffee fragrance if it is in Chennai, or the dosa, whatever it is, or idli or chutney fragrance. So we actually go to that level that we actually see things. Firstly, it like you will treat it as an exercise, but it becomes meditative exercise because you are just think what one thing you are doing in that process of 5 minutes first, and then 10 minutes of 25 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes. One thing you are doing, you are not thinking about anything, but you're thinking about just that scene, just that event happened to you. Okay, so you remember we were having a session one day. What happened that you got a call, some call came, you know, and we were in the flow, we were, developing our argument, we were giving example, and you got a call. So that moment, it is there in my mind, it get registered, that call change the whole dynamics. So what happens that, take it as a simple example, that we go there, even if I am not aware of the context, even if I'm not aware of the situation what happened actually, but we go to that. We are not going to know the story behind it, no. There is no, tendency of knowing the story, but going to that expression, going to that moment. So this is what we call recreating and going back. Simple name, recreating. So when you are going back, or a first date, you are actually recreating, but that person is not there, the setting is not there, or that kind of moment is not there, but you are going mentally recreating that event. Okay, now the question is why we have to do these kind of things, or going back, recreating the event what which is always there in the past. Because in acting also, we recreate what's been said, what's been done in the script, we recreate. Sometimes we get the support of a colleague, support of the actor or the co-actor, but sometimes there is no one. So in that time frame, if you have to do it 10 times with that same kind of intensity, with the same kind of expression, with the same kind of permutation combination, the only thing help you as an artist is repetition and recreation. The more you repeat, the more precise you will be, the more clear your observation is, the more subtle you will be. That's why observation, everybody says that we have to observe. We have to observe as an actor. Observation and imagination. But it's not just a term. It's not easy. And I'm very unhappy to the teacher or the coach, those who say the word observation, but they don't explain what to observe, how to observe. So here, when I'm giving you this example, that how we observe, we actually go to that event, we see, we get into our, we activate our senses, that the first touch, even how hot that coffee was the coffee was, that air, that's what we call, it's coming, that coffee is hot, so some, oh, yeah, open your mic.
Vapor.
Vapor
Vapor.
coming or not, or if there is a small slide to cover it, that water droplets are there or not. So in that kind of recreation, when we do, we observe. And that is the scientific method of observation. It's not a vague or going and observing in this on the road. No, 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 it's not like that. It's very scientific. It's very materialistically designed, that you are actually observing the movement, the line, the color, the texture, the angle, the mass, the volume. It's very scientific and mathematical observation we do as an actor. It's not that we are going to roam around on Besant beach and just we have fun. No, no, it's not about going and getting air. It's about going and finding the character and coming back and noting it down, the detail of the character, and you get 20 character which will be completely different, which will be completely Chennaified. You will not. There will be lots of people. For example, there will be 500 people on Sunday at the Besant beach, but out of 500 there will be 20 people which you can only find in that space. you know there is no replica, there is no there is no other copy, or the other version of that. And that is what make Basant or any space that Basant. Okay, because this is what the peculiarity of this space, this is what the speciality or the characteristics of the space, and this is what we call uniqueness of this space. Because there will be some, okay, there are some similarities, there will be KFC, there will be McDonald's, everything. So there is uniformity also, and which is I find very dangerous. But when you actually go to the local street food corner, when you actually go to the local side of the city, you will find something which is very very different, and which will only be available in that specific part, or in this specific area. And that's how we start as an we start observing as an actor's observation. And it is, I'm telling you brother, it's very very scientific, very very, you can say, systematic and structured observation we do. We observe like a to the extent of doctors, like the way they observe, the nerves and everything. They have a whole system, they have a map, they have a anatomical diagram, biological diagram. So they have that kind of thing, and they have the glossary also of that. They have the terms also, so that they can have the standard communication and conversation when they are sitting together from different point of world. In the same way, the artist has that. Even the classical artist has, artist has that vocabulary of music. So that's the same way of approach should be an actor, but it is not there. The irony is it not there. It's just like out of glamour, or out of becoming another version of Vijay sir, or becoming another version of Irfan sir, or getting carried away of so much of personality. No, 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 their life are different. We cannot be, we should not be also. It's a adharma when we start becoming somebody else, because they have done their part, they are doing, they have recognized themselves. But if we start thinking of becoming them, it's a adharma with us, not with them. I don't know them, I don't have any idea about their life, I'm telling you. And I'm not going to read their biography to get the inspiration that yes, I have to become. No, 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 it's adharma. Because when you are doing all those things, you are doing injustice to your entity, your presence, your individuality, your existence. Okay, so that's the reason why this brother, this two main element of acting workshop or acting training, observation and imagination, it is not vague word. I think if you are not trained, if you didn't get the luxury of getting into the drama school, or like I have a film friend, I have an actor friend, so I'm talking. I Lots of people don't have that luxury. Okay, if you don't have, completely fine, agree. But if you think that these two terms, if you get these two terms as they are, you are in. You can start rehearsing, you can start understanding this genre of acting, or this culture of acting in a correct path. But these two terms, observation, imagination, it's a it's a game changer, and it's a very scientifically, it is as scientific as the scientific subjects. It is as scientific as this physics. Because when you're observing, see, like I use the term, what I used, I'm an artist, I am a literature person, but in order to learn that one word of observation and imagination. What I used line, I used texture, I used angle, and even we when we were having the exercise of angling, angle one, angle two, I was using that angle, and it is a mathematical term, but I incorporated that term in order to ease my method. Fine. So I was using line, texture, volume, mass, sense, angle, positions. Okay, so these are scientific term, and when we are observing anything, we have to incorporate these terms and then start observing. Observation is not just going and seeing. No, it's not like that. It's a I feel, if I rephrase it, I would rather say it's a scientific seeing. The definition of observation is a scientific seeing of, or scientific watching of, or a pragmatic watching of something is an observation. It's not just an observation of going somewhere and having air, fresh air, and coming and thinking that yes, I was there to observe people. No, it's not like that. You have to go, you have to collect, like the way the lab people, they laboratory, what they do, they go to home, they collect blood sample, they keep it in small freezer kind of box, and they take it, they ride bike with that, and they go and they put it in the microscope, and they find it, and they get the variation. Is the same way actor should observe. Actor has to go, the body, the voice, the mind has to go to the place, public place, and then observe. And observing how, like a whole list of observation, observing in terms of line, observing in terms of volume, observing in terms of space, in terms of time, in terms of body, in terms of mass, in terms of proximity, in terms of spirituality, in terms of chaos, in terms of pollution, in terms of in terms of emotion, in terms of expression, in terms of costume, everything, in terms of language. Because when I was there, Chennai, this is what I got. Chennai is not about. I have got lots of Bihari people working in the tea shop, and they were speaking Hindi. So I didn't realize that okay, if I'm Chennai, I would be, there will be compulsion of speaking Hindi only, Tamil only. No, I was thinking that okay, South Indian are more educated, so they speak English, but it's not like that. It's the same. Some part they are very, they are elite. They speak, they are having high caliber. But there are some part like Koivilpatti and these areas when you go, distance. They were like that. They were like a northern guy speaking Bhojpuri and Hindi, and they were struggling the way we struggle in terms of speaking English in our training. So that kind of observation, brother, we have to do. And I was very curious to share that idea when I got, when I was started planning for this today's session, that this is observation. If you want to share something, or if you want to share any insight related to that term, please, I would be happy to listen to you if you have anything, or if you want to say something. Okay. Yeah.
Observation is something where
Bit
initially
loud,
even I
loud.
was initially even I was observing in a very blind way only. After your classes, like we've been associated for more than 2 years now, so now I observe it very differently. I can I actually I'm halfway through is what I can tell in what is not, because I don't observe the coffee level, those things I don't I have not observed that I should still start, how it's going to be, how the first meeting is going. But if we do this holistically, as how you told, like even the texture of the table, even the texture of the coffee things, everything, the shirt we are wearing, the shirt the other person is wearing, everything will take into account. And if we react 100%, there will be a best result. I am very sure of it, because uh, in case a person who I am going to meet, a producer, let's see, his costume will surely dominate my costume. But when I am acting, I will not take it into account. If I am recreating that scene, like how I am going to talk to a producer, that scene if I am recreating, I will not have that in my mind. He'll be in white and white. He'll look like one Raja. That thing I'll not have. But when you are telling this, when I add that to my acting, there will be 100% there will be a difference. Is what I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
For
example,
example,
and
and
just close your
just
mic.
close the
Yeah.
mic. Yeah.
Okay. So, for example, okay, it's an acting exercise. We have to start observing, and the first one word of acting is or should be and has to be, will be observation. Okay, now we have got the scientific way of observing, because there will be lots of kids, there will be very highly talented, they wonder, who to ask. People in every workshop, they say that observe, observe, what to ask, what to observe, how to observe. This is a question, how to observe. So we are helping our friends, those who are actually, finding one or two uh, real reason for, improvement, real reason where there is no advertisement, nothing. But if they are seeking something, if they are seeking any light where they can start practicing on their own, the first is the observation. That is the light first. Okay, now this was the acting observation and the scientific way of observing. Okay, fine, perfect. But when you actually start doing that way, it takes time. It's a because it doesn't come, immediately. It takes time because you are training your mind, and it takes a lot of doing to actually observe this way. You will be lost if you actually start observing that one thing, you will start missing. Okay, so it's a whole kind of struggle you will feel when you actually observe. And in order to ignore that struggle, people become lazy, and they they get carried away. They feel that, yeah, it was fun for the first date, and then they ignore it because it takes a lot of doing. It's a whole hard work, to actually see, looking at the person, looking at the every texture. It's, you need a different kind of mind for doing that. Plus, okay, but when you start this journey of observation, in that kind of scientific observation, what happens, that I will take your example, that for example, you are taking the observation of a producer who looks like a king, who treats himself like a king, and he has the tendency of dominating because he doesn't consider actor as a, someone very important, because lots of lists are there. And okay, but when you start observing, when you start doing homework of observation of the shirting, of the clothing, of the body language, what happens when you observe them 10 times, when you go to interact them, because you know the emotion, you know the body language, you know the system of the breathing of those person, you start becoming actually easy to handle them. Okay, because ultimately, even if like you are a professional actor, you have to go to meet them, and there will be a meeting. So even if you're not acting, it was an acting exercise that you are observing, you are handling. You will start handling that overpowering energy if you know the emotion, if you know the body language, if you know their energy. You will start, it's like a tennis ball game. You will start handling that energy, and that's how you become you. And the more you get the flavor of becoming you, the better and the easier the relaxed version of your will be in front of them. Those overpowering people, like the media people, when they are ready to, the difficult people, I'm telling you. So see, it's not just helping you in acting, it is not just helping you in meditation, it is not just helping you, to get the essence of real world. Because when you are actually seeing something, you will not be different, you will be a different person when you start behaving like that, because you will be nearer to you the truth, whatever the event are, you will start seeing the truth. Every event has a truth. And when you are observing, you are started getting, sometimes it is 10%, sometimes it is 30%, 35, 40, 50, but you will start getting the truth of that event. And when you have got the tendency of getting the truth, churning out the truth, deriving the truth of a one event, see, you will start doing the same, because you have got the second nature of finding truth. You will start finding in every event possible of your life, of your acting, of your exercise, of the people you're meeting, of you will start. Okay, when you have got the tendency of observing people in a scientific way, you tell me, brother, don't will you not start observing yourself as well? in that line, in that volume, in that texture, in that temperament, in that spirituality, in that emotion, you will also start observing you, because you have developed that sensibility of observation, scientific observation, pragmatic observation. And once you started with others, you will also start with yourself. And that's the magic. That's the beauty, that you will not have to become something. You will always like this, that you will start listening to people in a very different way, in a real way. I was observing last week, like our school is international school. Okay, so it's a Cambridge associated school. So okay, so we have different branches. So one is core branch, so I am teaching there in the core branch. And the principal came of that SIV, like international school. She came she came with a person who, like, we have a cinema, school cinema project. So in that, what happens that all the students have to see a cinema according to the classes. Like sixth grade has a like list of cinema, seventh grade has a list of cinema. So they have a system, and it is as important as your curriculum, main core subject. Okay, so you have to, like, they have a system that they have to watch cinema. Okay, fine. So the director, the producer, was there in the conference, in the meeting. Okay, fine. That principal introduced that person, that blah blah blah, yeah, wow, international, yeah, 60 countries, rider, bike rider, bike riding the Portugal, yeah, wo, duniya bhar ka. Okay, fine. And he is not there, the person is not there. So we got that he's from Karnataka, he speaks Tamil, he's Telugu, Malayalam, okay. Okay, so that, you see what kind of mind training we got in terms of that person's image. It is here, somewhere here. Okay, for example, I, this is the mind, but the image of the person is here. Okay, and that person came. Okay, that person came. He started talking. And when she was introducing that person, the producer, the film producer, she was telling that how I'm grateful. We talk a lot. No, we don't realize the time when we start talking about topic and all those things. But one thing she was not doing, when she was talking about himself, about that person, she was not looking at that person at all. She was holding mic. She has trained herself to be confident because she is a principal of that school, international school. So she has that kind of assembly training that she speaks. But what the blunder she was doing, that she was speaking, holding mic like this, and she was looking. You are telling us something about that person sitting beside you here, like this person, and that person is great, and that looking made every speech, all she's doing, a fake. Matlab means that she does with everyone. That kind of feeling we got as a viewer, as an audience, that there is no authenticity in that speech. There is no soul in that speech when she's speaking. It's a training she has got of speaking. That's it. See, that's what we start observing, brother. That core observation, she spoke. She spoke
As
of.
an actor, we should observe that. Very important. As an actor, we should observe that the core thing, what is behind her mind. Why she is doing it as a work, so there's no point.
So,
Mm.
yes, what we felt when she was speaking about her and his relationship as a colleague, as a, collaborator, but there is no soul, and there is a huge detachment. Matlab, that lady was all about I, me. One example, one, and that is the first part of the story. Over, over about that SIV international principle. That is over. Now coming to the person she introduced, and that person started speaking. That teeny guy who started with the note, who started with the first line, that okay, He's in front of audience, and the first line was, if the person sitting here are not fit, I never hire those people, unfit people, in the in my office, in my school cinema project. See, you are here, 500 people are listening to you, are waiting for your presence. We got very different kind of info about you, that you are a biker, you are a world traveler, you are a cinema producer, your course is running all the international school in India, and you are going here and there, Mauritius, Singapore, blah blah blah. But the first line you opened in front of the audience who is waiting for you, sir, you the first opening line was about making the audience inferior. And tell me, brother, would the audience accept that person?
No, no.
Whatever the journey you have as an expert, or the success and achievement, will there be any meaning to that success, brother? Why? Because after doing all those things, after doing all those bibliographical long listing, you couldn't realize that we should be first feel or make safe. You didn't make, inculcate that feeling of the feeling that please make your audience safe first, be empathetic. And I'm telling you, the the feeling, the vibration generated by the audience, he couldn't speak up after 10 minutes. He had to drink water, the mic was not working, and sweaty. So, he couldn't deliver, brother. That is the magic of the observation. Nobody was speaking anything, they were just mum, and they were listening to that audience. But the way that the release, the vibration was coming from 500 people to that person, he couldn't handle that. And words were not there. They were not speaking, they were all employees of the school. They had to keep their trap shut and then listen, because it's a stay back. You have to, because there will be, and it was all about career professional development. We were getting career professional development session, and that person couldn't speak up. So that's the beauty of observation. That's the beauty of the realistic, empathetic observation. So that lady also didn't realize that we have to look to the person, and just by looking with that gratitude, just by looking at that person, you can say lots of things which your word can't say. One. Second, that person, the kind of receiving, the kind of vibration, that lady, fake vibration that lady developed, it got shattered just because of core detachment, false training of speaking up well in front of 500 people. But how? For children, okay, because you are a principal. But for those who are already professional, those who are coming from different domain, I was just the one. I was a public speaking and acting and French teacher, but there were physics teacher, maths teacher, philosophy teacher, economics teacher, psychology teacher. Lots of teachers are there, and they are professionally doing it. You can fool students, kids, till 12th, but can you fool those who are professionally coming all over from India? Lots of teacher, like lots of colleague I have, they have traveled a lot like me. Like they were working somewhere in Ahmedabad, Gujarat, and Chandigarh, and like this. So that was the moment when I realized and observed that if you are fake, you will be fake. If you are true, you will be true. Even if you don't get validation of being true, no issues. And there in that see, that person was all about seeing film. And when he came, he should have talked about the contribution, and it's a tremendously good contribution, nice contribution, that he started that course, film course, that it's very easy for children to access a film in on IFP board. It's a great contribution, okay, national contribution. But you see what he was talking about in that 10 minute failed speech. I am a bike rider. I am a traveler. I think about fitness. I don't hire people those who are not fit. And there were some fat lady teachers who was tremendously and like there are some fat lady, fat lady teachers, amazing teacher. When they come, they are superstars of the school. But you don't have that vision to see what kind of
Everyone got
people you're
offended.
talking.
Everyone got
I have
offended. Hmm.
I have seen people those who are not bodily very attractive, but they're amazing people. What does it mean? It's not so that kind of thing. When when you actually get the training of observation, you see things happening. I was looking at that person. I was on the second seat in the audience. I was looking at that person like this. He was making us feel inferior, and he till 8th minute he managed like on the 9th minute when I didn't blink, I was looking at him. He got shattered because of that false you can say false building, construction, that okay, this, and that made the situation, uh, where he start thinking about, if we are actually, why I'm taking this example, I'll tell you why. Because see, if we are in that situation, in that event, if we are actually looking at that person, if we are actually talking true about that person, we will not drain ourselves. It's a false preparation, it's a false training which we kept repeating every year with every batch, with every student, with every audience. Then it happens. And if you are actually observing, because there is always a new event, you know, there is always a new thing happening. So if you are actually becoming true to that event, true to that observation, you will surely find some new things. And this is what we were started our topic, scientific observation. Okay, now let's do the exercise what I've designed, a simple exercise. Okay, so we'll go back, I'll give you some time. You have to go back to an event where that situation came, that there was something injustice happening, which was completely wrong to you, or which was not appropriate, which was not should not be done. There you wanted to speak, but you couldn't. So what, as an exercise we are going to do, you can do it in Tamil. Okay, you can do it in whatever gibberish also. You are free. The idea is not to know the story or not to know the event, but idea is to put yourself in that situation so that the suppressed part which is right there get ease, get diluted. That that rigidity of that suppression should, you have to ease, you have to water that so that it may ease that rigidity of the suppression, which is right there on that very day it was there, you couldn't do. So the exercise is, we call it self monologue. Going back, you can say on self monologue, where you will go back to that event, you will recreate that scene, and you will imagine that okay, that person is right in front of you, and what you couldn't say that time, that day, you're going to say today, with that kind of emotion, with that kind of sensitivity, with that kind of shout, with that kind of love, whatever it is, and you have to record it. So for the first time it will be difficult, it will be fake, you will sound mechanical, you will sound, there will be lots of fumble, but you have to develop, you have to recreate, you have to continue practicing that exercise. You have to think like, yeah, this is what I'm talking about observation. You have to see that person, that the whole texture, the eyes, the movement of the lips or the neck position, you have to see when that person was there and you couldn't do that. Now you are actually calling that person right in front of you and saying what you wanted to say, and saying it in a way that you're actually observing, you're recalling that event, the same event, with the same intensity. But I'm telling you, it will take time. Maybe that the intensity you suppress that time, maybe it will come when you are going to do ninth time, maybe it will fifth time, that intensity will come. It will not come at once or twice. It will come slowly. But when you actually practice sadhana, you know the term sadhana? Sadhana. When you start doing it as a sadhana, it will come. The real, that ultimate emotion will come, and you will start saying that. And now, right today, I was facing that issue. uh, so I just wanted to do, like, I had two issues where I couldn't speak, because just to, to make things go smooth, I just avoid, we avoid, lots of time we avoid, just not to make a big story, we cut it short and we just ignore. This is what we could. But even if we are ignoring, we suppress that emotion. Emotion is there, energy doesn't change. You can't kill energy. It get transformed or it get changed. Okay, so let's think about that event, think about that moment, think about the person, as detailed as we discussed about observation. And maybe we'll, I thought of collecting these two term, core main term, observation and imagination, but I think this only like, the whole session can be done with just one core term, imagination, observation. So we'll just make ourselves specific to observation only. So the exercise is, whoever is watching this or maybe watch it in future, very simple exercise. You just sit somewhere, go back to that event, go back to that time, think about that person, think about that context, what that person is talking to, think about the injustice he has done or she has done, think about the wrong thing happened that day, think about the situation why you couldn't say. Maybe you couldn't say because of the respect, maybe the person is your father, maybe your mother, or your wife, or your friend, your brother, your child, your boss, whoever, or a stranger, whatever. It's a endless, and you can, and that's the beauty of this monologue is, it can be 50, because lots of event happen, and lots of time, you just keep our trap shut just to avoid story. So we can prepare 50 monologues out of it. We can prepare 1 minute of 100 monologues of this. We can list, actually, it's a scientific exercise, we can actually list those 100 event where we couldn't do, and we start preparing 1 minute of monologue, and we can perform. And how we are going to perform? First we can record, just to know, to make sure about the intensity, voice intensity, sound intensity, breathing intensity. And once we are aware of that, okay, that is coming, we can also record a video, we can just place a video, imagine that that person is there, and you can start doing that exercise. So you will also see your change, your shift, your temperament. And you can also check that that is the temperament I was, that time I suppressed, or it is bigger or lesser, or the degree. So it's very scientific exercise where you can record, it's tangible, it is right there with you, it is with date. So, or maybe on 17th you are doing, on 17, or on 1st September you are doing this, maybe on 30 September, if you continue practicing, what would be the outcome of that exercise on 30th. So you will be able to analyze and compare, or the first variant and the 30 variant.
Mm, mm, mm.
Tell me. Okay, anything you want to add or share?
नहीं 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 भैया I'll just do one thing. I'll just try to observe. I'll go back and I'll try to observe and then I'll try to do something.
Okay, so
That's it.
anything, any instance or anything that, like we are talking about it right now. So any event, any episode is coming right now in your mind, if you want to discuss,
Yeah, yeah, that
or
is what I'm doing it now only. Now
not
only
your,
I'm doing.
not your friend, or you observe, you also do can. One thing also with that exercise, it's not just about you. You can also do what you have seen, going on with others. And you can also be, because you are an actor, so you can also play other roles as well. You can also play your friend role, that you saw your friend couldn't speak, and you were right there in that event. You saw that whole scenario, you saw, and you saw that your friend couldn't speak, so you can also play your friend. It's a Bible, brother, it's a Bible. Like, once you start doing this exercise, you can have lots of permutation combination of this exercise. You can be a girl, sometimes you can be a mother, you can be a politician. That politician had to speak but he couldn't. Why? So there are lots of variation of this exercise. It's a bible for actors. For self preparation, it's a bible, this exercise. Okay, if you want to share any event so that I can decode it for our viewers also, so that they can understand, if they are beginner, what we are actually, how we can design this exercise when we are self preparation.
Mute yourself. So I would want to recreate an event where my father was he had taken loan from one a relative of ours. So that relative is coming, and starting he started off very silently. He came along with his son. His son is the guy who my father and all his he's been there in his son's adolescent age. He's growing up. Everything is my father's seen. So after a point in 10 minutes of conversation, both of them started talking disrespectfully. Both of them are raging and coming to hit my father in like 10 to 15 minutes time gap. They started off very decently, but so at that time I was a kid. I still remember that vividly. I wanted to talk to them back, and I wanted to give it back, not the money. I wanted to give it to them back, because they had lot of loopholes in what they did, which I still remember. So that moment I never, it is left, because by wherever something happens, I react there only. I don't mostly, I keep things and come home and I don't know. So many in this example, many such incidents have not happened to me. If even in a public speaking, if something happens, no, I will shout there only. I will not give a damn. I am like that. So this time alone, this event alone, which happened years back, very 20 years maybe. That time I was 10 years alone, so I was not able to talk back to them. That is one incident where I want to recreate. Unmute yourself.
So start thinking about the exercise. Okay, start thinking about the exercise, that uh, what would be the text, what would be the script, what would be the emotion, what would be the temperament that time you can portray. So we can, and also those I'm also inviting our viewers also, if you want to share your video, if you want to prepare this exercise and show to us, we would be very happy to see you. Okay, it's not about acting. We are not at all talking about acting. We are talking about the self. When we are talking about real people, real emotions, and it's a psychologically healing exercise when open up. You don't have to reveal the names. You don't have to tell us that okay, this is your family event or outside event. You just prepare it and show to us. You can send link, whatever we will watch and we will discuss. We will come out with your example and we will try to discuss what happened with that exercise. If you are and don't be afraid. We are here in that platform to not at all judge or not. We are here to help each other. So we started helping each other, me and Gautam. So now we just uh, enlarge the circle of helping. That's it. So if you want, if you find anyone who can who can reach out to you, and if you want to show your work, exercise, you are welcome, you can do it. Okay, not today, later we will consider, we will see that example, and we will come out with our point and we'll discuss it. I will do, brother, surely will do. Okay, if our viewers take it.
But yeah, and would you like to recreate something which you wanted to talk about? And
Okay.
can you show us any small specimen, like for 1 minute or 2 minutes of your reaction, which you wanted to do there, but you didn't do? What you would have done? Okay. Even let us take this teacher's example also. That person, that producer's example, where you wanted to shout, or you wanted to tell that guy is very plastic, but you were not able to tell it. And the way he introduced himself and the way he started off a conversation was very negative, where you will not, that was a very wrong way to start, no? That if you wanted to express in the same audience, from being an audience,
Un-
you wanted to express, how would you
Understand.
something else? Whichever is comfortable for you, please act as such.
So right now there are some points to be to be considered, because ultimately we are technically learning, mechanically technically learning this exercise. So even if it's a heated conversation we did that time, even if it is a emotional uh, outcome coming because there is something suppressed and we, but whenever we are going to exercise there are some disclaimers for our viewers, for us also, that whenever you're starting the exercise, it pushes you to that emotional level actually. What, because we are real human, so it happens that it will push you to that emotion, that you will start, you will start doing that. But what you have to do as an actor, you are not actually going to do the same thing. You are mechanically technically understanding the exercise. So the best way to start this exercise, make yourself completely relaxed, think that is an exercise. It should not happen that after this session or after this exercise you call that person and start fighting with that person. It should not be done, because it's an ultimate, it's an exercise. We are trying to learn something from that realistic approach and truthful approach. I don't like the term realistic, it's a truthful approach, that what we happen to us and we are just finding the other way to release. Okay, so the best way to do the exercise, make yourself completely relaxed, breathe, breathe, think about that person, see the person, the texture of the person, the cloth of the person, what he is having in his hand, or a polythene, or a plastic, or a phone, or whatever it is. Rings are there, so just start developing with that exercise, because when you actually start releasing that emotion, it's not a instant thing, it is not an immediate action. I can do it because I have done it many times, so I can do it. But what happens, you don't have to actually in the very first exercise you don't have to go to the extreme. No, start with 1 minute. One day, the when you are doing it for the first time, just go to that image in the first attempt, like the way you went, brother. You went, you don't have to do the complete ultimate exercise of release on the very first. You can develop. First, you are clear, you should be very clear about the scene. Okay, at what time, what clothes you were wearing that time in the family, and what, how they were coming, where, what was the time, that time fan was on or electricity was there or not. Okay, or what was the month of that situation. Okay, so that also start developing. Once you get pro into that, when there is, when you are actually detached with that, because the more you get into the detail, the more you get into that observation, you will start becoming detached to that event. That is also a very fruitful thing, that you will not have that kind of anguish or anger when you start doing an exercise, because you are breaking down. Okay, you are breaking down those events, so you will be a doctor to that, so you will not feel the same kind of intensity. But when you do this exercise, take it slow, think about the character. Okay, think. Okay, so that is the process. Is it clear? Is it clear, the process, how you're going to, you should not approach it directly, going to then shouting. No, 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 it should be developed. It should be like, in 11th attempt you can go to that extreme, in 12th attempt you can go to that, that temperament where you are actually shouting and shaying, or uh, releasing that thing. Okay, so that is the point where you have to go slow, because it's an emotional exercise, a psychological exercise, and you are taking help of your subconscious mind, you are taking help of your body, your breathing, your voice. So be gentle with that when you are attempting this exercise, going back to the past event, recreating the recreation, or going back, recreating the event. Fine. Okay. फोन भी आया उस समय, सब लोग कह रहा था, फ्री थे पूरे टाइम, कल हम संडे को फ्री थे, सोच रहे थे कि जाएं, कहें। हमारा आत्मा जानता है ना, हमारा आत्मा जानता है कि हम उसको कितना मानते हैं। मैं जानता हूँ, मेरा भगवान जानता होगा कितना हम उसको मानते हैं। 5वां बार है ये ना। पता है इस घर में, ये फैमिली में हत्या होता है। ये एक ऐसा मर्डर है जो सब लोग करता है सबके सामने, मतलब बहन का मर्डर उसका पति करता है, उसका भाई करता है, सब लोग करता है। और इसका कोई लॉ नहीं है, कोई इसमें कोई रूल नहीं है, कोई रेगुलेशन नहीं है, सरकार भी कुछ भी नहीं, इसका कोई लॉ नहीं है। और घर में मर्डर होता है, एक बार नहीं, 4 बार नहीं, सबके सामने खुले आंखों से मर्डर होता है। और हम लोग देखते हैं, अस्पताल में मिलने जाते हैं, बात करते हैं, वहां जाके सेव लेके जाएंगे तो केला लेके जाएंगे तो गुलाब जामुन लेके जाएंगे और देखेंगे। पता है क्यों नहीं आ पाए, नहीं आ रहे हैं? सब चल रहा है, सब मतलब रुला ही आ रहा है, सब कुछ हो रहा है, लेकिन पता है क्यों नहीं आ रहे हैं? क्योंकि आएंगे तो हम अपने आप से डर रहे हैं, अपने आप से डर रहे हैं कि तुमको तुमको गाली न देने लगे और पूरा अस्पताल में तबाही न मचा दे। मम्मी बोली थी, पापा भी बोले थे ना कि चल जाओ चल जाओ। पूरे दिन हम कम खाली थे कल, क्यों नहीं आए? इसी कारण से नहीं। अगर हम अपने आप से, हमको डर लग रहा है कि अगर हम वहां जाएंगे तो क्या हम कर जाएंगे, क्या बोल जाएंगे, इसका कोई अंदाजा नहीं है। डर रहे हैं, देख रहे हैं कि उसके साथ क्या हो रहा है, देख रहे हैं कि कितना वो झेल रही है। उसका पूरा शरीर खराब कर दिए थे, पूरा उसका पूरा जो खोखला बना दिया उसको। और सब लोग के रजामंदी में ये हो रहा है, सब लोग देख रहा है, सब लोग बैठ के उसको जान रहा है, फिर भी कर रहा है। छोड़ दिए, लिटरली छोड़ दिए। आज से नहीं, 4 साल 5 साल से छोड़ दिए कि जाओ करो। हमें कोई इमेज का अपने मन नहीं है, कोई अपने आत्मा का मन नहीं है। बस ये जान लिए, छोड़ दिए कि अब हम छोड़ दिए अपने तरफ से, कहीं से जान गए कि भगवान जान रहा है, बस वही को जानवाना है, किसी से कुछ नहीं कहना है। हत्यारे हो, हत्या कर रहे हो, मार रहे हो उसको। तुम लोग मार डालोगे, जैसे उसको पूनम मोर्चे को मार दिए वैसे इसको मार दोगे, तब तुम लोग को रियलाइज होगा क्या हुआ। रियलाइज भी नहीं होगा, कभी जीवन में रियलाइज नहीं होगा कि क्या कर रहे हो तुम लोग। तमाशा बना के रखे हो जिंदगी का सबके। बच्चा चाहिए, शादी चाहिए, तमाशबीन बनाओ जीवन। अरे किसी का जीवन जा रहा है, जिंदगी से बढ़ के क्या बच्चा, क्या परिवार जिंदगी से बढ़ के नहीं। बर्बाद कर देते हो सबको, सबको बर्बाद करके जब मार लोगे, यही होगा, इसका परिणाम यही होगा कि जब खत्म हो जाएगा, मर जाएगा, तब तुम लोग को समझ में आएगा, अभी एकदम नहीं समझ में आएगा। So when you complete the exercise, breathe, don't get carried away. It will be difficult exercise because you will feel like crying, because there is a whole, the whole injustice is happening in front of you, but you can't do anything, you can't say anything. If you start saying things, relation will be broken, family will be broken, things will be, completely shattered. So it is a difficult exercise to sort of come, but yeah, be gentle with you. It's a release, it's a yoga. As an actor, as an artist, it is painful process, but ultimately we have to learn, we have to go into the dynamics, and you have to take control of your emotion. Don't get carried away, don't get carried away. It was a past event, it was a sample for us, it was just a sample for us. We were taking that sample, learning something from that, and just putting it back. I am whole empathetic to that event, but yeah, we have anger sometimes, we wanted to speak but we couldn't, just to save the family, just to save the relationship or whatever it is. But yes, so that was, brother, the exercise. It is right now happening.
Perfect.
and I just wanted to share. I used it in Hindi because we are Hindi phone, so we that time if I would like if I get a chance, I would speak up like that. I would speak up in Hindi because the person in front of me is somewhere my relative, so I know that person, and I have that wish, that question, that comments for him only. So that's the medium. So I preferred doing that version. But yeah, my friends, my actors take it very seriously. Enjoy, have fun. Lots of exercises are there in the series to have fun, to enjoy, but also attempt this exercise, or listen to the session once you are actually ready, emotionally, spiritually, physically ready, because it's a difficult exercise. Not difficult in terms of I'm an actor or I do it, that's why it's difficult. No, no, we all can do, but emotionally it takes you back to that event, which is painful. So on that ground, like I would uh, like recommend you to just go slow. So that's the idea.
And
Okay, brother. Yeah,
what? Tell me, tell me.
yeah, yeah. So that, yeah, it is what the exercise I attempted. This is the way to approach that exercise, that you have to actually look. And I'm telling you, when you actually look that, when you actually go to that situation or a person, voice modulation, these are fast thing. It comes with your subconscious, that you know like it becomes something very, yeah, it's
So
not an acting.
so if something if there is like a conversation is happening where there is an heated argument, okay, let it be heated argument. I would do this many times. So if in that argument I have left out some points which I actually he gave me a rebuttal, for that I would have given a sir rebuttal. But in that sir rebuttal, I wouldn't have put the exact point which I wanted to put. I would have put the point,
Yes,
but that time, what happens if after that heated conversation, I am coming in an auto maybe way, or I am coming in my bike only. I will keep doing the same thing and coming. சே இதை சொல்லியிருக்கணும் அதை சொல்லியிருக்கணும் அவன் எப்படி இதை சொன்னான் இவன் எப்படி இதை சொன்னான் லைக் the thought what I'm telling in Tamil is சே இந்த this dialogue I should have told, this thing I should have told, how did I
yeah,
do
yeah,
it,
yeah.
how did I
So
I
this is
talk
what,
to
yeah,
myself, I
brother.
talk to myself,
Thank
go
you.
crazy.
This is what the exercise was. What was unsaid, but because we are emotionally driven, so our mind doesn't work that way,
That way,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. So that time, whatever we wanted to say, we couldn't. Okay, so when I'm coming by auto, or coming when the event is over, that feeling is about the exercise. Thank you so much, Gotham. Thank you so much. So that is the essence of the exercise. That, like, after that we got the answer. Like, my question came, we were emotionally driven, we were upset, hurt. So that time our mind doesn't, filter, doesn't process to get that exact correct answer or response. Situation can be anything. It can be out of respect, it can be out of love, it can be out of, emotion. But once it is over, we start getting the correct answer, and that is what the correct answer we are right now doing in this exercise, right? So this is what we are doing. We are telling what was untold. We are telling we are telling to the core that, okay, this is what I am telling you if I get a chance. So that is the idea of the exercise.
So one thing which I would like to after this call, I am going to tell it. But here, as an exercise, I will tell it. Bhaiya, morning class, no, bhaiya. Bloody fellows are irritating by honking outside your house. All the time there is something. It is irritating me. The whole day, this whole 1 hour, I was really getting irritated. But after the call, I'm going to tell to you. But in that exercise, I'm just telling.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have to
I have
make a
to make
studio.
a studio.
Someday
Someday
I will make a
I will make a
studio,
studio
sound
sound.
studio, and we can do it. But yeah, we have to somehow we have to start. So we have started.
This
Like
is how
with
we.
our
This is what is the
possible.
thing. This is what is the expression after, like, which is suppressing in us, uh, which we have to, which we want to talk, we can't talk. Is what you're. This is what is the sum up of this session is observing us scientifically, not us, something around us, not something, everything, each and every minute detail. We should be. Uh, I still remember the guy when he spoke to my father. He's coming till his face, till here. He's coming,
Yeah,
telling,
yeah, these kind.
these kind. Will you do this? He's telling, Umbuya. Umbuya means it's, will you suck a dick? If you want
Ha.
to give me money, suck my dick. He's telling something like that. Okay, so, which I still remember vividly. So that time I was not able to do anything, which was suppressing. But now, yeah, if I would like to recreate, I'll recreate that
Thing. Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
So and the
And the
last thing
last.
you give just off your mic. Uh, the last thing you gave the example, the auto example, when the event is over and when you're coming back, lots of flow of thought comes in terms of answer that I should have. That is also a summing up of the exercise. That is also a summing up. The best summing up, I would rather say that that is also a kind of uh, essence of the exercise we are doing. I should have said this, so now I'm saying. I should have done that, so I'm right now I'm doing it. So that is the crux of the thing.
Of the thing. If someone is accompanying me, if someone is accompanying me after the event, they'll be seeing me like a mad guy. What is
Yeah,
suddenly?
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's talking alone. He's talking alone. I will keep chewing the same thing again and again and again and again and again. I would not leave it.
And this
And
is this
this is this
exercise
exercise.
makes a mad guy. We have to become a mad guy. See how I was becoming mad. If I start doing it, I would have become, that's why I just controlled myself and thought that okay, it's a technical exercise we are doing. I was becoming mad because I will, like I'm just sort of telling myself that, but the kind of emotion I have for that person, I can beat him. I have never you know uh, shouted at anyone. You know what kind of temperament I have, but I will beat that person if I get the chance in the public. That kind of, and that's a different version comes when I think of that person, or the actions he does or he's doing right now with that situation. I will beat that person, I'm telling you, and you know what kind of person I am. So that exercise is all about that. And yes, we have to take learnings from our real life. It becomes a real training. So but at the same point of time, be gentle with you. Be gentle breathing with your body, with your mind, with so everything. Be gentle, support yourself. Yeah. So
So
that's was the
that's
session.
was the session. Thank you, Bhaiya. Thank you. Great session. And I'll also make it a point that I'm able to. I'll start recreating those that event. And there are some other events which I would like to discuss with you that I will later discuss. And then I will start creating that event on a regular basis. Let me create, and after 10 days, let's see how the result is going to be. That will help us. That will help us.
Thank you,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So, about observation, we have completely seen today. So, we will
Hmm.
have some exercise in the forthcoming classes regarding that, if
And
necessary.
yeah,
And yeah,
we'll have,
we'll have,
like,
like,
let's now
let's
start off your mic. Let's now start some like we have discussed the whole in and outs of the term observation. We have given some example, practical example, live based example, technical example. Now we'll have a series of observations exercise. Once we cover some nice exercise, practical exercise, we'll start another topic, imagination, and then we'll do the same kind of series, so that we
so
can,
that we can,
our viewers also, they can get a series. Like right now, like I see the message that what's going on. So so they have to go to the topic that what we are actually discussing is about the topic of acting. This session is about, uh, exercising, doing discussions on the different style of acting, exercises of acting, improvement of acting, expression, memory, past memory, emotional memory. So these are very difficult terms, bookish term. So here in that small session, we are just easing those difficult terms in terms of with the help of exercises. Okay, okay, brother. This is the response for your question. Okay, fine. Yeah,
Fine, Bhaiya. Fine. We'll meet in another class. Thanks a lot for your time.
yeah.
We'll surely meet again. Thank you. Bye.
Okay.